Hello there. It is time for stamping, being that it's a Thursday morning. I will wait for just a few seconds for my cue, which comes from my upper left corner. When I see somebody pop on, I'm ready to go. So, how have you been? It seems like it's been a long time since we've had a paper pumpkin class, a full month. All right, Terry is watching. Hello, Terry. You are my cue to officially begin with Good Thursday morning and welcome to Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin. This month's kit, we're going to take a deep dive into the Notes from the Heart December kit. This is a really cool kit. I think I say that every month, but as you start to kind of explore the kit, you see the beauty each month that Stampin' Up! Creates for us. All right, so not only is it Good Thursday morning, but it's Happy New Year time, right? I hope that everybody had a beautiful day yesterday, maybe even New Year's Eve, that you partied, did some fireworks, had some fun. But I'm looking forward to 2025 and all that it brings, and I hope you are as well. Okay, so I have a load of business, a ton of business today, but I'll go through it quick so that we can get on to the fun stuff, which is all about stamping. Hello, Nan. Nan Wagner is jumping on. Good to have you here. Hopefully you'll learn a little something new today, or at least go, oh, I kind of like that layout, or, you know, that's what we're meeting here for, right? Okay, so business. Let's see. I think I'll flip my camera so that you can see what we've got going. Terry says, good morning. Awesome. So we've got 4 people that have jumped on. Emma. So from the United Kingdom, good to see you here, Emma. For us, it's morning. I know it's afternoon for you, but so I'll say good afternoon and happy 2025 to Emma. All right, so let me flip my camera because I do have some special announcements today. And so here comes the hand. You know, you love that part. One of these days, I won't be so like old school here, and I'll figure out how to do things a more efficient way, but in the meantime, here we are. Okay, so my first announcement is, so many of you have inquired or have asked about Paper Pumpkin in creatives, and this is a team of demonstrators from the United States and from Canada. First, let me just say hello to Barbara Campbell and Happy New Year to you as well. Thanks for popping on with a comment. Okay, so Paper Pumpkin Creatives, we started in the fall. There are now 14 of us on this team, and we design a tutorial that is all about an alternative project that you won't see anywhere else. It's not published anywhere except in this PDF. And this PDF at the moment is only available to our Paper Pumpkin subscribers and team members. So, but I got news for you. Starting February 1st, this PDF, which is jam-packed with amazing projects, will be available for purchase. You will be able to purchase the PDF from any of the 14 demonstrators for $15 US. So it's going to be really, really cool. You are guaranteed at least 12, if not 14, tutorials each month. So it's going to be really, really cool. Starting February 1st, you'll be able to get our January Paper Pumpkin kit, but you can also go back and get September, October, November, and December. So from 2024, because that's when the group was started. So like this month, I think there are 3 2-page layouts. There's 2 1-page layouts. There are several cards with fancy folds, and there's even a couple 3D projects. In fact, I'll just give you a little hint here. This one down here is mine, and it is a 3D project. It's really cool. All right, so that's coming up. I think you will enjoy that. January has a new host code. So if you purchase on this host code this month, you are going to earn 2 kits. So, and 2 kits and a celebration gift if you'd like. So with a $50 purchase, that will get you my class for free. For a $60 purchase, that'll get you class and a celebration. For a $75 purchase, that's going to get you class for this month, Technique Time, my big class of the month, a Stampin' Up! Goodie, or it's not Stampin' Up. Yes, it is a Stampin' Up celebration goodie. And my Use It Up class for, yes, hear this right, January, because we have 5 weeks in January. We're going to have a Use It Up class right after our technique time. So let me show you what's coming up this month. So next week, I told you we're having 2 Use It Up classes this month because we have 5 weeks. We didn't get to this in December because just life got crazy and too many activities going on. But I am going to turn the Snowy Scenes DSP into some wintry cards. So we'll be doing that next week. Grab your kit. We'll have some fun doing that. I'm really looking forward to this class. We will do a pickup class in January. We haven't had a pickup class since I think September, just because of all the holidays and things that have preempted it. But pickup is back. It is the 3rd Thursday of the month in the Backstage Pass. And this is going to be all about painting techniques with Wink of Stella. That will be a fabulous class. Bring any open line images that you have. And then for this month, I can't show you the ad, the full color ad just yet, because we can't open the inside of this. But if you have this brochure, turn to page 13. Technique time this month is going to be all about the heart-shaped bundle. So it'll be the stamps and the dies. And I've got some great plans for it. We're going to be making some beautiful Valentines this month. And I think it's going to be a class you will enjoy. Again, you can earn that class for free, like I mentioned earlier, or you can pay $35 for the class, and I'll send it to your door. And you can also purchase the PDF, which will be $16, which I'll email you right to your email address. All right, so that's coming up. Register by the 17th, because this will be, usually technique time is the 4th Thursday. Sorry, it's the 4th. I think I have Thursday here. Yes, it's a Thursday 10 a.m. Zoom session. That will be, excuse me, that's going to be the 4th, and then the 5th Thursday, because we have that extra Thursday in the month, we're going to have a second Use It Up class for January. And we are going to look at the Utterly Adorable Bundle, the Sweet Collection entirely. So we're going to be using up that DSP and having some fun with that, with this suite. Now, never fear if you don't have the stamp sets. We're going to be taking you'll be able to pull images from the paper. So it'll be a fun, cute class. And then the last class that I'll kind of pump up here is Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin. In a month, we will take a look at our February. Well, it's our January paper pumpkin kit, but it'll be in February, the beginning of February. So that's what's coming up. There's lots and lots happening. Let's see here. And I don't have the ad for my Studio Ink Spots, which returns in February. It'll be the end of February. And that's because I can't show you the ad just yet. Next week, I can show you the ad because the ad takes, it shows the inside of the catalog. So I have to wait until that catalog goes public by Stampin' Up to be able to share that with you. But it's going to be the Wildflower celebrations. It's going to be all about birthdays, and it's going to be the best. Hello, Kayleen. Good to see you here. All right. So let's begin with our cool Notes from the Heart paper pumpkin kit. So let me just kind of put a plug in here. These are the Merry Tags and More. These are the little dies that have complemented the December, November, and October paper pumpkin kits. So we have the tag and the fern. I'm not going to use the word Merry today. I'm kind of done with Christmas stuff, but not that I'm done with it, but we're just a couple days beyond it. So I'm going to be using that little set of dies, and I'm also using something really cool here. A couple different things. First thing I want to share with you, this is called Timeless Plaid 6x6 DSP. And this, you can see some of the pieces I've already used. Some pieces are entirely gone, some color patterns. But you're going to see these throughout today's class. I think this is just a perfect mix. I like the juxtaposition of the plaid with all the floral elements that are in this month's kit. So this paper is going to be available starting next week, and it is part of the storybook. I don't know the official name of that storybook suite collection, but boy, just this paper alone it's got some feminine colors, but it's got a lot of cool neutrals and then some things that are perfect for gentlemen. So this you will start to have a really fond appreciation for. I suggest picking it up. So yes, Kayleen, I agree. I love the plaids, and you're going to see how fun it looks with today's kit. So we're going to take a look at that. I'm also bringing out a couple stamp sets. I'm bringing out, I love that they call background stamp sets, but I'm bringing out the Among the Swallows. This is kind of maybe a stamp that you might have not totally, you might not have seen. It's kind of in the, it hasn't been in the forefront of all the action of stamping, but this is beautiful and it's subtle. It kind of has a nice toile feel to it. And I like how it's going to just kind of play, as a nice background to some of our images today. And then I'm also using the Regal Flora. So this is on the last chance list right now. This is a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. We use this for my 2025 desktop calendar. And I'll post some pictures of that calendar because it turned out gorgeous. But this is really a beautiful stamp set. So I'm going to use this today as well. So those are some extra things that I have on hand that I'm going to be using. So let's just dive right in and see what we're going to do. We're going to start fairly simple today. And I'm going to be using all of my card bases. I've already used one so far in my paper pumpkin. I've done a couple things there, so I've used up some of it, but I'm going to use the rest of them today. In fact, I'm going to use almost everything by the end of today's class. And if we end up going way over time, I might not make all the projects because it looks like I have 7 here and some of them are pretty thorough. I mean, they're pretty involved. So we'll see how far we get. And if I don't get to them all, I'll definitely make them all and share them with you because they're going to be beautiful. Okay, card base. And it's already pre-scored in the center. We're going to make one more score line there. You can see I've already kind of pre-done it. Now, I have to share with you, I have not made any of these cards yet. These are all just made in my mind right now. I just have some sketches that I'm working with. So here are my sketch notes. You're going to go, what the heck is she doing? So anyhow, I'm working with my sketches. Because I wanted to be able, I only have the one kit and I wanted to be able to make a lot of stuff. And if I pre-make them, then I can only make half, right? So bear with me. Some of these might turn out fantastic and some might be a miss. But that's half the fun. Okay, I think I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees just to make life simpler. And I'm going to score, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And in the 4th scallop, I am going to add a score line, and that just happens to be right around 1.25 inches. It's a skosh left, but just a little bit. So we'll make a score line there, okay? And so our card base, we're gonna fold down the middle, okay? And then we're gonna fold this one back. I love this layout. It's a quick and easy transformation or, retooling of what the card base is. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but if you take a closer look at your card base, you will see that one side has a very, very pale, and I don't even know what the pattern is, but it's super, super pale. It's kind of a yellow something or other, but it gives just a little bit of texture. And you can see the difference from the front, or I'm going to say the outside to the inside, which is just plain. Okay, so I'm also going to bring in one of those pieces of timeless plaid. Look how yummy this plaid paper is. Holy moly, this is just super pretty. And then there's the back, has a nice kind of check pattern, okay? And the colors in this are Misty Moonlight and I'm not quite sure, maybe this is Lost Lagoon and Old Olive. It's just really, really pretty. Now, I'm going to be cutting a piece for here and for here. So I want a piece that's going to be 1 1/4 and a piece that's going to be 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 1/4 just right off the bat here. So we'll cut a 2 1/4 inch piece. Save this, tuck this back into your designer series pack. Let's rotate. And this is going to go to 5 1/4. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm just gonna cut this down the middle at 1 inch. So I'll have a 1 inch strip and a 1 1/4 inch strip, just like that, okay? And I'm kind of holding them together, and I'm gonna add those to my card base, just like so that the plaids still match up, okay? So I'm gonna glue these to my card base, and hopefully my glue works today. I had a pin in it. So some of you may already know that I sometimes have these, what I call my glue. I have my woes to my glue. Let me pick this up and move this over just a little bit. In that it's very dry here in Idaho, and so my glue dries out really fast. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a teeny border, just a little bit of a white border there on the right side, on the straight side. And just wiggle this over. There we go. Hi, Rita. I'm happy to have you jumping on with me for a few minutes today. As I mentioned earlier, I am working with I'm adding the timeless plaids into today's alternatives for my paper pumpkin, what I call upstyles. Okay, so now I've left the inside blank, which allows me plenty of space to still write. Okay, so now I have a choice here, and I'm gonna have you help me make this choice. I can bring my plaid back in and add more plaid to the card, or I can do just a little bit of stamping here. Now, this month's kit, and I have a lot of the stamps already mounted on blocks here, but what's interesting is they've given us a stamp set that is all greetings, and these greetings are like, they've hit all of them, from congratulations to birthday to thank you to hello to get well. There's so many different greetings here. So this is really a nice, when I say earlier, I said there's kind of some surprises that as you get to know the kit, you're like, this is really a smart kit. Well, this is what's really kind of smart, is you've got these images that are like perfect for long term. So I don't have a stamp from the kit, is what I'm saying, to kind of do a background here. So that's where I was thinking that maybe I would do just a little bit with the Among the Swallows. Jacqueline, I agree. This is a great pack of paper. It's so fun. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, instead of using more of the plaid, I'll save this. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to do a very subtle background. I don't want it to be too in your face. So I'm going to use a little crumb cake here. And I'm just going to kind of gently pat. I'm not even going to worry about getting it all over. I might get it everywhere, but I just want it to be subtle. I'm going to flip my card over. Let's see, we got to flip it over the right direction though. I'm going to set this on my card, well, on my stamp. When I have these big stamps like this, I like to use them on their back, if that makes sense. And so I'm just kind of dabbling. I'm not going and giving it full pressure, because I just kind of want a little bit of imagery throughout. And so if it hits and misses in places, I'm cool with that. But look how pretty that is. Look how pretty. And this is the perfect setting, the perfect backdrop for one of these fern pieces. All right. So we've just kind of, this look, and then the rose, and then the blackberries, it has a bit of a botanical feel to it. So that's kind of why I wanted to go this direction. All right. So I'm going to use a fern. I'm also going to use one of the oval labels. So let's put a greeting in here. Let's go ahead and put happy birthday. So I'm imagining this could be for a gentleman. It could also be for a woman. It's kind of, it's kind of got a unisex feel to it. I've just opened Early Espresso. And I'm going to use Early Espresso for my greeting. Okay. Just giving it stamping. I'm just tapping it several times. I'm going to throw, this won't hurt this piece of paper, but I'm going to throw this underneath just so I can see the difference, really see the difference between the white tag and my white grid paper. And I'm going to stamp that image. Now, I will say, sometimes with these photopolymer stamp sets, I don't get the best impression, but I'm going to give you 2 tips for really good impression. I want you to take your image, and I'll take this one because I haven't used it, but I'm going to rub the image with the heel of my hand or my thumb, and I'm going to kind of remove whatever, sometimes there's a little bit of, you know, sizing, or because it's never been used, it just needs to be primed. The other way you can prime this is to use Versamark. So go ahead and stamp your image into your Versamark pad and then stamp it. So, and that's what I've done with this happy birthday is, I haven't done it with this one because I don't have Versamark out, but look how clear that is. Also putting just the right amount of pressure on your image. You don't want too much because then it kind of like ghosts, it blurs. So, and you've heard me say that a lot. So look how nice this grouping is we've got going here. I also have cut for myself a couple of the fern leaves, and I cut these fern leaves right from, and I've done this ahead of time just so you don't have to sit here and watch me do it. But here is one of the envelopes. So I've used one of the envelopes because I made a 3D box. I knew I wasn't going to need one of them. So I used every little inch of envelope and have cut a bunch of fern leaves. So I have some nice mossy meadow, lightweight fern leaves here. And I'm going to use the fern leaves to do a little bit of framing of my greeting here. So I'm going to take just a little bit of my glue, and we're going to create a nice frame / background for this oval greeting. And I'm simply going to do one fern leaf pointing each direction. And it's just a nice, cool, easy frame. How about that? I really like that. I agree, Kayleen, these greetings are, they're so, it's like they're versatile. You get a little bit of everything, and it just, you know, I think they're really, really nice. So my plan here is to add, and then to add on top, and then we just have kind of a nice, you know, Z-fold style card. So let's go ahead and put this together. So I have a choice here. I can make it a Z-fold or just kind of a fold back and it opens like that. And I think what I'm going to do though is make it more of a Z-fold, which means I'm only going to put my dimensionals right through the center there. So I kind of have to look at it so I know exactly where I'm putting them. So let me grab some dimensionals. I know the kit came with dimensionals, but I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not a fan of the paper pumpkin dimensionals. They're too fat. Is that rude of me to say? And I'm going to do one more right about there. They just add a little too much dimension for me. I didn't know there could be too much dimension, but I guess there can. So I'm going to add my fern leaf. And I'm going to double check that it's not showing there. And it's not oh, it is showing there. Shoot, queen. Well, I guess we'll just change the angle a little bit. Make sure it's not, oh, now it's showing there. Let's see if we can do this. It doesn't look like it. We're going to try. Good. Still showing. I'll fix it later. You get what I mean though, right? And then we're going to add this one. And if I want, I could add a nice little loop of twine here. Just a little. I'm just going to do a bow. Nothing crazy. Okay. Just kind of fluff this side, and this will just kind of hang out. We'll tuck it behind, and that will be our finish, okay? So let me let me put, let's see here. I have some seal. I'm gonna go ahead and do just a little bit of seal right here where I know I can set my linen thread. Okay. Just kind of play with that a little bit. And now we'll add our dimensionals. I'm going to move these towards the center so that they don't show. All right. Let me just kind of wiggle this one down just a little bit. Kind of train your linen thread, style it before you put everything together. Do you guys do that? I kind of really work my linen threads and things to shape them just the way I want them. Cool. Cool, cool. All right. And then we'll add a little bit of bling. So these beautiful bits came in the kit. I love that they gave us more of the smalls than they did the large size. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. And let's see, like I forgot to bring my my take your pick tool. So I'll use a hobby blade here, and I'm just gonna add some gems. I'm gonna do one here, and I'll add another large, kind of right about here with it. And then I'll add one more small right up in here, and I'm gonna keep them on the plaids. And so there you have it. There's our first pretty easy alternative here. Okay, keeping it simple, but again, look how pretty that is with the Among the Swallows. And then our DSP. So this is kind of the direction I'm gonna head with today's projects. So that's our first one. Now let's shift gears and take another look. So let's grab, I have a few items here that I'm gonna use. I'm going to use one of the card bases. All right. And let's see. Here, and where's my ribbon? I have some ribbon I'm going to use. So this is leftover from last year. It was part of a combo pack. It had some blue and some yellow, some lemon lolly and azure afternoon in it. This is the bubble bath. So we're going to use that. I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss. We'll go over the measurements here in just a second. Jen has popped on. She says, hello and Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, I blew my New Year noisemaker. So at the beginning, so Happy New Year to you too as well, Jen. She's sneaking in from work. Haha, that's fun. All right, I have cut. This is the Merry Tags and More. This is the tag from the little stamp, from the little die set. And I've cut a piece. This is from the Timeless Plaid. Look at that. Here's the other side. I love this side. I used all of, this is the last of this paper that I have. I've used all of this pattern. I have also cut myself 3 of the ferns from this plaid. So this is the reverse side. All right. So that's where you know where I'm finding that. And these, this is what I'm going to be using for this one. I also need one of the rectangle labels, and that's what I'm going to use for this project. Let's begin. So this is going to be, I like to make mostly cards, but occasionally it's fun to do a little 3D item. And I am going to make, I'll bring this in. This is the only thing I've pre-made for today. So this is a cute little kind of a love notes type box. It's a pizza style box that kind of folds. So I'm using a good portion of one of the card bases, and then I'm also using a piece of Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to go over all of the measurements for this. So hello, Pamela Blackwell. It's good to have you here. Watching while you're doing dishes. Hey, nice way to make dishes a little bit more fun, right? Good to have you. All right, so my piece of Blackberry Bliss, this piece is 5.5 in one direction, okay? And it's 5 1/8 inch in the other direction. All right, so I have a few little cheat sheets right here. Let me turn it upside down. So like I said, this is the only one I pre-made, and so I do need my notes here. So, but I'm gonna go over them for you guys. So again, 5 1/8 by 5 1/2. And we're gonna score on all 4 edges here. So let me get my cutting blade out of the way. And I'm gonna score at 7/8 of an inch all the way around, okay? Whoops, my scoring blade came out of the track. So there's 7/8. Here's another 7/8 and another. So, I mean, this box, I mean, you could fit a couple Ghirardelli squares in there or some other fun little chocolates. That might be fun for, you know, a Valentine type party or just to give out to somebody. So there's my box bottom, super easy. Now, for the lid, we're going to do the lid from a portion of this card. So basically what we want is we want it to be 5 1/2 inches. And so I'm going to cut to where I have, and I'm just gonna double check, is that right? I think it's 3. I just wanna make, of course I cut them all off, so that makes it tricky. Yes, so we're going to count 3. So just beyond our score line, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to cut, okay? And so this ends up being a little bit more than 5 1/8, okay? By the time, but we want to make sure we have that whole piece there. And I'm just double checking. Yep, that's the right one. So you're going to go 1, 2. So you've got 3 full scallops, but 2 dips you're going to cut in that third. Okay, and it's 5 1/2 already. So these pieces are very, very similar in size. If you're wondering, you know, where I came up with all of my cuts and everything. Okay, so, but I need to continue. I'm going to rotate my card so I have that score line that they've given us. And I'm going to put, let me bring this up. So I'm going to put that third, so 1, 2, 3, in the third scallop, you're going to score. Okay, rotate. Let's do the same thing. 1, 2, in the third scallop. And one last time. Awesome. So let me ask, do you guys, so today I have, you know, I think I've got 7 projects, 6 of them are cards, and 1 is a 3D project. What do you prefer to make? Just curious what you like to do and like to, do you make 3D items or just cards, or maybe you like to make scrapbook pages? You tell me, what do you like to make? Sandy, thank you for popping on. It's good to have you here. Okay, so I've rotated around to my straight side, and on the straight side, I'm going to cut right into, okay, right in the score line up to that first score line. So you're right. So you're going to clip in the ditch to that next score line. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple more clips on this. I'm going to cut from corner. Let's see if I can hold this straight to corner. So I've just removed that corner all the way off. So let's do the same thing on this side. I actually have to flip this over and do this way. I don't know why I can't. Okay, so I've removed that corner as well. So let me just kind of share this with you, because this one's going to be opposite of what you think. So this is going to be the back of the box. This is the hinge for the box. Okay, so let me backtrack to Jen. Cards are her favorite, but it's fun to do something different. She likes having a few 3D projects at Christmas to use for gifting cash and gift cards. Yep, I agree. Kayleen likes cards, but also likes 3D items, especially gift packaging. Yep, I think gift packaging is my favorite as well, Kayleen. I definitely enjoy, you've heard me say, giving presents to presents. Okay, so I've just clipped in. So these, I'm going this direction. Now, on this other side, I'm coming in from the sides. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut from corner to corner to remove those scallops, just so that when we form the box and the tabs, none of those are sticking out. So that's all trashiola. Let's clip this while we're at it. So let's cut straight. And so same thing as we started. Okay, I'm not going to clip the corner out, but I am going to take a wedge out of that tab and a wedge out here. And now we'll turn it and we'll do the exact same thing. So you've made boxes before. It's the same drill. And I forgot to bring my little clamps to hold this together. Oh well. I have some clamps that Kayleen gave me that I was using when I made my other one. It was very handy to hold my box in place before the glue set up. Like little mini clothespins, only they're really like heavy duty. They're really cool. Okay, now we're just gonna fold everything inward. Okay. Teresa, thank you for jumping on. Happy to have you. Okay, so bone folder time. Let me just kind of come in on each of these. Okay, just kind of fumbling through all of these. Let's get that one too. All right, so there's my box bottom. We'll glue it together. And here comes the top. So let's just fold these in first. Same thing here. We'll fold these inward. Kind of get them out of the way. This is the hinge side right here. And then these are the sides. Okay, there we have it. So now let's just start kind of gluing all these pieces together. First off, on these two tabs, so this is the straight edge. So these two tabs are going to glue inward. They're not going to hold the box together at all. They're simply going to glue inward and just give us some stability on this side. And then also from the outside, give us a nice clean folded edge. You've never seen that done on the lid, Kayleen? Just a little variation. So I'm doing enough glue, but not so much glue that it comes like smooching, you know, that it comes out when I don't want it to, excuse me, to come, you know, I don't want it to squeeze out. Oh, you guys, I need to take a drink here. Sorry, real fast. I had a tickle in the back of my throat. Okay. So Kayleen, this is going to be a pizza style box. Now for this lid, instead of gluing this way, this is going to be our tab to bring this up and hold these together. Okay. So when you finish, you actually end up having the two diagonal tabs on each side. Okay. So let's put this together. So same thing. I'm not going to do so much glue that it comes oozing out, but I am using glue because I like to be able to maneuver my box just a little bit. And because this is the liquid glue, it gives me just a couple seconds to do some maneuvering. What's nice about talking about doing the maneuvering here is with these scallops, you know exactly where you're going. It just gives you a nice guideline of what you're making. If you know what I mean, Vern. Okay, so there is the lid. And I'm going to give this just a little squeeze. Really set that up. And then we'll be putting on this edge here, that's our hinge side. This is where our glue will be to attach it to our box. Okay, so now we just need to do the same thing to this box, to the box bottom. So I'm just going to add some glue on these tabs. Okay, so curious What filled your New Year's Day or your New Year's Eve this year? Just curious what people did. Yes, I agree. The scallops are a great design for the lid. It's kind of fun to play up that shape. Okay, so this is where I'm just kind of burnishing my adhesive right now, but this is where those clamps that Kayleen gave me a while ago would have they'd have come in handy, but they're in my stamp room. So for those of you who don't know, many of you already do, the Wi-Fi in the stamp room is sketchy, and so I have to come out to the kitchen counter to do my lives so that I have better connection. Or I'd just grab them, right? But I don't want to have to leave to go get them. Okay, so no one's going to share their celebrations yesterday. So my daughter-in-law, her mother is Japanese, and so it's fun to get together, and they celebrate New Year's Day with something called sukiyaki. So we had sukiyaki yesterday. I look forward to it every year because it is so tasty. Okay, so I'm just putting the lid on my box. Anyway, so we had sukiyaki yesterday and had some fun with games and desserts and all that good stuff. Let's see, Laura finished up her calendar from Saturday. She made a special dinner for her family and stayed up with her son playing board games. Nice. So they were playing a game yesterday that I had never seen. It's called Skull, but it's a card game. It looked pretty fun and pretty simple. It's kind of like, it reminded me of a card version of Liar's Dice in a way, if you've ever played Liar's Dice. Okay, so now I am just adding that hinge side. I've put glue there so you can see that that's where my box now all comes together. I'm going to let that set up for just a second before I open it and kind of burnish it with my bone folder. Okay, here is my label. And so for the label, I'm going to do the lots of love right here. And I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss little spot that came in the kit. You could use the spot, you could use the full size, it just depends. I like the full size, and I actually have it out here with me, but the spot was nice and handy, so I'm going to use that. You watched Wicked. Okay, cool. Did you go to the theaters to see it, Jen, or in home? Okay, so I'm giving it enough pressure, but not too much that my words blur. So just, like I say, that's nice. I like that with the blackberry and this kind of, I don't exactly know if this is moody mauve or what color this is, but it's pretty, whatever it is. Okay, so now for my box, I'm going to take my splattering effects here, because you know me, I like to splatter things, give it a little texture. So let me bring in some scratch paper. And this is Pretty in Pink, and it's the light Pretty in Pink. I just grabbed one. It doesn't have to be, it can be whatever color you want it to be, light or dark. But I'm just adding a little texture kind of to the outside of my box. So that was light, Pretty in Pink. And this is dark Blackberry Bliss. And so again, I'm just kind of aiming for the sides because it's not going to show in the middle. And then we'll do one last color here. We'll do a little flick of Wink because we have to stylize everything because that's just my my modus operandi. Okay, now that I've done that, I think I can open this up. And let me give a nice little burnish. I'm just going to open the inside here and take my bone folder and do a nice burnish there to be sure that's going to stay. And I need to do these corners because I can see they needed a little love. Okay, Now it's looking good. So it's a decent sized little box there. And the nice thing is, you saw this one finished, and so it's going to be easy. It's already, you know, I don't have to worry about a bow or anything. Everything's done, and I have access to opening that right up and getting into it. Hello, Barbara. Happy to have you joining all of us. All right, so let's start with some ribbon here. I'm going to do a faux bow. I'm not going to actually tie it. I'm just going to do some loops. All right, so I'm just doing some pretty big loops here. So there's kind of one bow, and here's another one. I know sometimes you've seen me tie a lot of bows. This one I kept flat because I wanted it to be flat underneath the tag there, okay? So rather than putting the twists and the pinch and the twist that you normally see me do. Okay, so I think that's going to be big enough, hopefully. And we'll just trim this. And I should have brought my stapler. On my original over here, I just took a stapler and went right through that. Kept it nice and easy. But this time, I guess what I'll do is we'll do a little bit of... I'm just going to do some Seal Plus, kind of hold things down. Just like so. The nice thing about the Seal Plus is you can kind of wiggle things around. For instance, this one doesn't have a place to stick, so I just found a sticky spot. Cool. So that's it. Nothing fancy. No fancy, crazy loops that are trickier to hold down. Now my tag is going to go down like so. I'm going to flip this over and add dimensionals. And I'm just going to do some right here in the corners. And I'm going to do, just because it's paper, notice I'm leaving the center free from any of these knots and things. Oops, I got to take the backs off. Hello. All right, and I'm just going to put this on an angle. You do you, if you want it straight or how you'd like it. And then my my 3 leaves here, we'll just do a little glue. And I'm going to do the 2 edge leaves and then the middle. So I'm going to put that one on. And notice I'm not putting glue everywhere. I'm just doing a little glue to secure them. But then I'm letting the rest of them kind of fly and be free, if you know what I mean. It's kind of just like natural dimension, you know, without adding dimensionals, letting them just kind of come up off the page, lift a little bit. Okay, let's see. Kayleen finished her swap cards over, you know, this was yesterday. Usually you're with your daughter and her family this year, but this year, because of her husband's, because of Steve's mom, and her birthday, New Year's Eve, was a sad day. Well, I hope that Sharon is doing better. I know it's very difficult, Kayleen, but it's good that she has you guys. Very good. All right, so now I'm going to do just some dimensionals on the back of my label here. And I forgot to bring my gold twisted thread. I'm so bummed, because my original has some thread. So I'm going to show you with and without the thread. Nope, you know what? I got to have something there. I have a little bit of, I have this. Let's see if I've got enough to do. Yeah, we got enough to do a bow here. My original has the gold twisted thread. You guys, the gold twisted thread is like my favorite accessory right now. It is on back order until about the 6th of this month. So we don't have to wait too long for it to come back. I do have some in my stamp room, but I forgot to bring it out with me. Anyhow, so I'm going to do that. Let me do just a little tuck of seal right there. And then we'll just kind of reach this. Actually, it goes this direction. It kind of goes with the direction of my ribbon. And then this is going to reach across. So fun. So much fun. Let me bring in this one where I've used the gold twisted thread. So I don't know, you guys, I have a new addiction. It goes with Wink of Stella, but the gold twisted thread, it just makes everything gorgeous. Okay, so let me bring in the cool gems here, and we'll gem it up. I'm going to add 3. You can see I did 1, 2, 3. So let's just kind of do the same thing here. I'm going to add 1 right in here. There's 1, 2. So those were both small. Here comes a large. We'll add that one there. So there you have it. Cute, cute, cute. Fun, different, you know? Fun stuff. So there is our 3D item for today. I'm not going to do any other 3Ds, just that one. I did in my Paper Pumpkin Creatives, which for those of you who jumped on a little later, big news, Paper Pumpkin Creatives. This is for team members and Paper Pumpkin subscribers. You're going to get it for free. It's already been posted in my Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin Backstage Pass. But starting on February 1st, you will be able to purchase these if you are not a team member or a subscriber of mine. You can purchase them for $15 US. So, and we're not only going to have the our January kit for sale, but we'll also have December's, November's, and October's as well. So fun times right ahead. So these are going to be fun for you to have. They're really cool. Okay, so that was that was project number 2. Moving right along, I'm just going to kind of put my pieces all back together here. I have every one of my tools out to where I can't find anything. Okay, put them back where they belong. All right, now this next project, so this is the scrap from the card we just did, but it's perfect for making stuff. And I'm going to make a couple cuts here. First, I'm going to take this, so 5.5. I'm going to find the center, so that's going to be 2 3/4. So I'm just going to chop this in half. Just chop your piece right in half. And now I'm going to go from corner to corner, and I want the same amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's not good. I'm trying to find the right spot. I know what I'll do. I'll go like this. Hold on. So I can figure out, okay, it's going to be right there. So we need to get rid of 2. So I'm going to go from the second. So there's 1, 2, and I'm going to go there. So I'm going, you'll see when I cut it apart in just a second here. So there's my piece that I'm looking for, and that you can just toss. So I need to do the same thing over here. So we're going to go from scallop. So I'm counting in 2 from that edge there. Okay. Okay. So this layout is going to be a riff on Jacqueline's layout that I cased a little while ago. So I have these 2 pieces here that are giving me this cool, scallop type, they could be corners, but I'm going to turn them inward. I'm going to turn them inward, and I'm also going to emboss them. And I've done that ahead of time. So you can use any embossing folder you have. I've used, oh gosh, I can't remember. This is the Eyelet. I can't remember the name of this. I think it's Eyelet. Hey, Vita Kaful, hello, has popped on. Good to see you here, my friend. It's been a long time. Okay, so these 2 pieces, I'm going to use that. Let's see, what else do I have in my stash here? I'm going to go back to the fern. So I'm going to use the fern and a label and another fern. So these 2, again, these are 2 that were cut from that envelope. I told you I cut a whole bunch of them, and then once I was done, I didn't cut any more. Now I'm also going to use for this card one of the vellum leaves. This is from the kit, and one of the card bases. And card base wise, I'm going to fold this in half. Give it a good burnish. Okay, and I'm using another piece of the Timeless Plaid DSP from the pack that I shared with you earlier. Here's the back. This one's not quite a check. It's a check, but it also has a little bit of a dashed line running through it. So it's an old olive and kind of like maybe a pecan pie or early espresso, a shade of that. And then look at this one. It's gorgeous. It's super pretty. And so I'm going to just start with trimming my designer series paper. I'm going to start and I'm going to cut this piece. I'm going to cut a 2 1/4 inch piece, and we're going to set that aside for just a moment. And then this piece here is now going to be 3 3/4. And so I'm going to turn this and make it be by 5. So it's 5 by 3 3/4. Save that. You never know where you might need to use it. Save this. We're going to use it on our envelope. All right. So keeping this easy here, I'm going to add my layer to the outside of my card base. And then my 2 little wings here are going to come and they're going to layer in right here. So if you heard me earlier, I said that, so the only thing that I pre-made today was the box. Everything else is a sketch and in my head. So let me grab my sketch. So here's my sketch. I know it sounds crazy and weird, but I'm doing this because I only have the one kit and I wanted to make a bunch of alternatives. And if I make one fully, then I end up having less product to work with. So instead of making 2 alternatives the same exact way, I'm making a whole bunch more. But like I say, we never know what we're going to get because we're kind of crafting on the fly here. Not totally. I've got a plan, but it's not like I've got another full project made and I'm copying it, right? All right, so there's my base. I just think right there, that looks great. And I'm going to add my 2 kind of corner pieces here, but I'm going to just glue the edge on this one. Just kind of like so, because I want to be able to tuck underneath there. So that's that one. This one, we can do the same thing, although this one I'm going to be gluing on top of. So it's a little bit different. So I'm not taking that all the way to the edge. I'm just kind of taking it to the edge of where the scallops are. I'll bring that up so you can see that placement a little better. All right. So like I say, this is kind of a riff on Jacqueline's layout. And then I have my leaves that are going to tuck inside here and the fern. And what I might do, I think I am definitely going to do it. And that is I'm going to take these vellum leaves and we're going to do a few little cuts here. So I'm going to just shape there, and let's just kind of come right like so. So I'm just going to separate these. I just kind of cut them apart, not too much, so that I can kind of tuck them here so that I can separate them just a little bit to get a little bit more show out of them. Okay? Yes, definitely. I definitely like that. So that's going to go there like that. And then what I haven't totally decided is if this is going to just kind of come across where we're going to set it. And then I have a couple of my ferns here that I've cut from the Mossy Meadow envelope. And I'm going to tuck one kind of down in there and one. And I kind of want to go under the, and I'm just dry fitting right now. I want to go under the vellum, okay? Because I really want that vellum to show. And I also want to soften the Mossy Meadow leaves just a little bit. They're dark compared to everything else. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I am going to add some linen thread. I have some here, and that'll kind of tie under and be simple. Okay, and I haven't decided exactly, But let's just start kind of adhering some of these pieces. And I'm going to start with my Mossy Meadow leaves here. I'm going to do just a little bit. And I just kind of want a little bit of that to show. And a little bit of this one. I'm going to tuck this underneath. Okay. But I think that that's really pretty with this, with the plaid in there. Now I'm going to do just a teeny bit of glue on this because, you know, glue and vellum, too much glue and your vellum's going to curl. So let me kind of turn my Mossy Meadow down just a little bit. So just like so, kind of where I'm headed. That way I know plenty of that vellum's going to show. Now this, you know, we always try and make sure that our, when we're using vellum, that our adhesive doesn't show. It's like trying to find just the right way. But I'm not worried about it too much because I have this big fern leaf that's going to go over the top. And it'll hide that. So there's my vellum. And now this one, we can reach this one inside. Now for this one, I'm going to do a little glue on this end, but I'm going to do a dimensional or two here on the opposite end, just to give it some dimension. And then we'll glue this end underneath the flap, like so. Okay, easy, easy, easy. And now our greeting here, we'll put to this, we're gonna put it down here to the side. And let's do, I got a frog in my throat. Let's do the, I'm gonna do the Lots of Love again. I'm not gonna do it in the Blackberry, but I think what I'm going to use is Old Olive. And my Old Olive, I mentioned this yesterday to somebody, my Old Olive is actually darker than my Mossy Meadow. So I'm gonna use Old Olive. I have problems with Mossy Meadow. We've talked about this, discussed it before, that Mossy Meadow just doesn't, no matter how much ink I put in it, it doesn't take ink, if you know what I mean. Okay, so here's Old Olive. We're just gonna do Lots of Love right in the center of the rectangle. Cool. I can see it's still a little bit wet, so I'm gonna wait for that to dry. And for my linen thread here, I have some linen thread. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple loops right around my fingers, kind of like I had, and then I'm just gonna kind of fold that right into a faux bow. I'm not gonna tie it off or anything, but I'm gonna lay it across and just kind of check things out if this is what I wanna do. Keeping it simple. Maybe that's too much. I think I'm gonna do just a single. You know, you gotta kind of have to try things out, right? Let's try out a single. So I'm using up linen pieces, linen thread pieces. I had all these big old pieces that were just like, it was things I had tried out on cards that I didn't end up using. And so now I'm just kind of finishing up all these pieces that were hanging out on my desk. Maybe let's go this way. Yeah, we're gonna go that direction. Okay, so let me trim this right about there, and we'll assemble. I'm trying to see if that's dry just yet. Surprising that it kind of took a bit. Okay, so there's a little dash of Stamp and Seal. Okay, you're gonna need to be trimmed. And we'll put dimensionals on the back of this. Okay. And I'm gonna leave one free from the center. so that the knot has a place to go, the knot of the, and I kind of want this higher than I do low. I kind of want it straight in the middle. There we go. Cool. So this is a more of a masculine look. And I think I'm going to stay away from any gems on this one. I might go back and put some on, but I'm thinking no, just to kind of give us a different look. But I'm thinking yes, that we need a little micro sparkle here of Stella, especially on these dark colors. It really shows nicely. Okay, there you have it. Kind of cool, kind of fun, but I'm not done. Here's my envelope. And I'm going to add a little glue here. Okay, kind of spread this, get it pretty close to the edge. All right, and with this piece of the DSP, I'm going to go right there to the edge of that fold line and give this a good burnish. Okay, and now we will have a decorated envelope for this project. And all you're going to do next is just take your scissors and do a quick cut right around this edge. I like to do this. I don't have, the only long bladed scissors I have out here right now are for fabric, or for ribbon rather. But I usually have a few pair kind of at my desk that are for paper that I like for this type of, you know, just a longer blade. I think it just kind of comes in and gets this job done quicker and straighter, if you know what I mean. Okay, so there is my matching envelope to go with my card. Could I use a brayer to smooth it out? Smooth what out? Let me know to smooth what out, because yeah, I'm like, yeah, we could try. A brayer to smooth out. Yeah, just let me know to smooth this out as my glue dries. There's that. Let me know what you mean, and I will answer your question for sure, Vita. All right, there is project number 3. So we've got a couple masculine looks. Let's kind of dive into something completely different. I'm going to go back to some Blackberry Bliss here, cardstock wise. So I'm going to use, this is the only card base I'm going to bring in. The rest I'm going to use all those scallop bases. But this is 8.5 by 5.5. And I've got some score lines in here. So let's do these score lines. I've done them ahead of time, but let's do them again. We're going to score at 1 1/4. Okay, this is going to be a fold back card. You guys, you know it's my favorite fold. The envelope. Yes, you could totally use a brayer to smooth that out. But as my glue is drying, I'm getting rid of that entirely. But yes, a brayer would totally fix that and smooth it out. For sure, for sure. Great question. Now I'm going to move this going to 2.5. So our first was at 1 1/4. Now we're at 2.5. And then this last score line is going to be at 5.5. Okay. So I'm going to go over this one more time. Our paper is 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 1 1/4, 2.5, and 5.5. And this is going to be a fold back card. And it's actually going to orient the opposite direction. For me, I just always do that, the smaller ones first. So, but anyways, bear with me. So our fold is going to go like this. So we're going to fold inward on that measurement that was 1 1/4. Now we're going to fold backwards on the 2.5. And then I'm going to bring this right back up. And then this one here is going to fold inward. So our card is going to do the one side's gonna open. This one's gonna glue shut. Because this is gonna be a fold back card. Because you know, I've been loving that. So here is another look at that timeless plaid. I cut myself, again, used the Mary Tags and More. I cut myself a tag. So we're gonna have a tag in here. We're gonna use one of the blackberries in this. From the kit, I'm also using a circle. And I've cut from Petal Pink cardstock, I've cut the fern, okay? And I kind of like the way, I mean, I can put bubble bath in here, but the warmth of this tag, I kind of like it with Petal Pink. And I've actually cut 3 of those. I have a piece of white. We'll go over that measurement in a second. I have another label and a leaf. We got a lot of stuff on this one, but that's okay. That's kind of what's fun about it. Okay, so from the very, very get-go, what I'd like to do here is I'm going to bring in the swallows, the Among the Swallows one more time, and I'm going to pounce it with some Blackberry Bliss. It's got some crumb cake on it, so let me do just a little quick cleanup here. So with Blackberry Bliss, again, I'm not going to make sure, I'm not like over inking. I'm just adding some. And we're going to do kind of that dabbling motion. So this is the side that has the cut on it. I'm going to turn this over. And we're going to lay this down on the card. I'm sorry, on the stamp. And I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm not going to over impress. If it's, I kind of call this dabbling in kind of a hit and miss. You saw it on the first card. And so it gives us just a little bit and then it disappears and it gives us a little bit more and it disappears. It's just kind of a cool texture. It's not so much an in your face, do you want to see all of the design? Okay, the design of this card, I gotta clean up the tip of my glue here. The design of this card, a fold back card or a latch card, we're going to glue these 2 narrow sections together. And then this piece of white that I've cut actually fits right in there like so, okay? So since we're here, let's just glue this one on. Okay, and we'll hit this with a little bit of blackberry. Let's grab the blackberry blend while we're here, and we'll do just a little splatter to soften that paper, give it a little bit of visual depth. And then we'll go ahead and add our gorgeous sparkle, like so. And then we're gonna just do one little fern right in here. And I'm gonna kind of give it just a little bit of character by curling up those sides just a skosh. And then just a little bit of glue here and there. So we have just a tiny bit of inside decor here. Okay, we're gonna come back and add a second greeting in there in just a second. But let's just kind of finish this off. So our tag is going to work right here on this side, okay? So I'm gonna glue that down. And I'm gonna make sure to not have glue. I just want it on that one side. Just like so. And so this tag is what's gonna hold the card shut, right? And so when you actually work this card, you're gonna fold that back and open it up. So it's, that's kind of the latch or the fold back, whatever you wanna call it. So I'm gonna burnish this one on. Oh, I burnished and I got glue coming out the bottom. We don't want that. Okay, so my blackberries are gonna come in here. And then my leaves are gonna tuck here. And then I'm going to have my ferns And it's going to be the ferns that are going to help hold down my vellum. So the ferns are actually going to be, let's open this up. So let me just kind of push this back for a second. Okay, let me find something. Oh, that one's not heavy enough. Ha, there we go. Just to be able to work that. Oh, you almost missed. Well, I'm glad you got here, Rose. Okay, so I'm going to add that one there. And then we've got a fern that's going to kind of come in here. And another one, we're just going to kind of group these. But I'm just going to kind of hold tight for right now. Bring this back. And bring in my blackberries here. And then the greeting, we're going to kind of bring right in there. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do the circle there or if we're going to do, oh, we're going to do the circle there. I could almost tell instantly that's what I wanted to do. Okay, but I don't want it to be dead center. I want it to be kind of a little bit off center. Okay, so yes, that is what we're going to do. So now the name of the game here, we'll take these out of the way. Unfold. Now that we've done a little dry fit, let's go ahead and stick this down. So same deal, just a little bit of glue here. And this is what's going to hold down the vellum. Maybe. Hold on. It will. I'll be able to put glue behind it in just a second. Okay. Get my, got to move it down a little bit. Come on. Yeah, it's just going to set in there. But let me put, so I'm going to put little dots of glue where the petal pink ferns are, because I don't want that glue to show when we flip it over, if you know what I mean. Just like that. That should hold it down. Lovely. This is going to get dimensionals. And I can't believe I forgot to bring my gold thread. I just might go get it just because I so want it on this. Big time. Okay. Now, same drill here. We need to make sure that our dimensionals are not going to show when we fold this back. Okay, and then we have a greeting here. Oh, you know what? I was gonna maybe, I know why I had this one planned here, because this one was gonna tuck inside. Because I was gonna do something like so, and just use the word hello. Yeah, that is what my plan was. Okay, so Rose, you've popped on a little bit later. So I was mentioning earlier that these cards, I've not made them before. They're all just kind of a card sketch over here on my side. So I'm kind of riffing here. All right, so here's hello. And now I'm going to tuck this inside. Cool. Cool, cool. That one's going to go on the inside. So this one, I'm going to tuck inside. We're going to use a little bit of glue just on the one edge. And it's going to come right in like so. So just add your, so now you kind of have this as a grouping and playing off of it. And then this piece comes in and sets here. Okay, this needs, I'll add it in the photos. You'll see it when I finish. I'm going to add a gold twisted thread right there in that loop was my plan. But I forgot to bring it with me. But look how pretty this is. Look how pretty this is coming. Super simple too, you guys. I mean, it's taken me a few minutes. It's not like rocket science or anything, but I think it's turning out really pretty. And then I'm going to do a gem and a couple smalls. So there's one, and then let's do another one. And And this will also help to hold that vellum down. We'll do one there. And I'm going to do one more. Maybe I'll do another large. But I'll do it kind of right in and about here and hold that vellum down. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then that gold bow on there will be really, really, really pretty as a finish on the front here. And I'm going to go ahead and zhuzh up the berries and the blossoms because, you know, it's just in my Stampin' DNA to have everything sparkle. Okay, and we'll give this a finish because that, you know, the little micro fleck of Stella on this blackberry is just, it's super, super pretty. So I think this is going to be really pretty once we have that gold twisted thread there. We'll open this side. And now on the inside, this is where we can do, I'm going to add either here, I think it's going to go right about there. And hello, and I'm going to do just a note. Now I've not used this image before, so that's why I'm kind of buffing it with my fingers. I should have brought my Versamark because that really does, it's kind of like adding when you spray your pan, when you're cooking cakes and things, when you grease your pan, it just kind of adds a nice, it makes your stamps work just a little better for you. All right, so there's just a note. Cool. And that will add this to the inside. And I'm going to add this with a dimensional. I might have to, nope, I think I'm going to glue it. I really would like it to be a dimensional, but I think a dimensional might just be a little too much. Okay. And we'll just add that right in there, like so. Cool. Fun, fun, fun. With that gold twisted thread. Oh, I'm so looking forward to putting that on. You guys, I don't know why I'm so addicted to that stuff. Okay, that was number 4, right? Okay, I'm excited for number 5 here. Let's take a look at the rose. We haven't done anything with the rose. So what do we have here for this one? We have, looks like I've got stuff on the label, but that's okay. This is one of the labels that's intended. I just cut it apart so I could kind of, kind of set my pieces out for each card. So this is one of the labels, and I forgot my embossing buddy. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, folks, give me 2 seconds. I got to grab my embossing buddy or this is not going to work. And I might as well get that gold twisted thread. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm coming. On my way back. Okay, so I grabbed my embossing buddy, which we definitely need. And I picked up my Versamark pad while I was there because it was out. I'm really telling you, this is really cool. So I'll show you that on one of our next images here. And then let me share this. You're going to go, what the heck? So this is like a sugar shaker or Parmesan cheese shaker, just from, And so I have linen thread and I have gold twisted thread. And this just sits at the top of my desk so that I can pull and add stuff. So, yeah, we'll add more of that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is before I embossing buddy this, I am going to pat this into, I'm going to do like a direct to paper. Where is my, there it is. I knew I brought this. So here's my bubble bath ink pad. And so I'm just going to press this label right into the ink pad. Okay, so I'm just kind of doing a direct to paper. Need a little bit more right in through there. Okay. If it's not like totally perfect, I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm going to let this dry for just a second because it's a little wet, but you'll see we'll be able to pull that apart and it'll be cool because it's kind of, it's not cardstock, it's not white, it's not totally pink, but it's cool. So a direct to paper, so inking technique there, direct to paper. That's our first step. And then I have one of the leaves here. We're gonna have some fun with this. And I'm gonna bring in some scratch paper, and it doesn't matter which side, but I'm gonna turn it over. You can kind of tell the difference between the front and the back. This is on the back side. I am going to take my Pretty in Pink blend here and color my leaves. And if I don't color perfectly, I'm not gonna worry about it because that will add visual interest, a little texture, a little depth. Okay. Just having some fun here. And before I flip it over, I'm going to pull my Blackberry Bliss blend and do a little splattering with my bone folder here. And again, this is on the back side. It could be on the front side, but I just chose to do the back to get kind of a different, more muted look. Let's see. Hello, Kathleen. Karen says, hello, so good to see you here. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year, Karen. Okay, so maybe let me do this. You can kind of see from the front when I flip that over how that looks. Kind of different, but just have some fun. Play that up a little bit. Make your own thing here. You bring my scratch paper back in. Now that this is dry, I'm going to peel that off. And I'm going to Embossing Buddy and get all of that stickiness out of the back of this. And it takes a little bit to do this, okay? You can just kind of rub it around in the rosin here. Okay, so now the stickiness is all gone. And I have powder everywhere. This is where you use your shirt to clean your space. But now I can add dimensionals to this, and this is just kind of a fun layer that we can add to our card. Okay. And I'm going to add these. Whoops, I pulled the backs off and I didn't pull any of the Dumafletchies. Okay. All right. Just pull some of these off. Okay. So that's ready to go. This is garbage. We'll get rid of that. Our leaves are ready to go. I have one of the roses here. Look how fun. These are starting to come together. And I still have a couple of the fern leaves. Again, I cut apart one envelope, and I think I cut out maybe, I don't know, 10 different fern leaves out of that one. And I have a circle here. Okay, so that's from the kit. Just going to swipe my pages over here. What am I doing? My sketch in the head here. We need a card base. So this one's going to be straightforward, folks. We're just going to take one of those card bases and burnish that score line. Nothing fancy. But you guys, this is one of those pieces from the Timeless Plaid. Look how awesome it looks with the rose. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh yeah. Cha-ching. I like that. So we're going to trim this down to fit our card base. And so we're going to trim it down to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4, keeping it real easy here. 5 1/4. Okay. And before we add this to our card, I'm going to use the Among the Swallows. And let's see, I should have done these cards in opposite order because I had Crumb Cake. Now it's got Blackberry, but I need it to be Crumb Cake again. So let's just do a quick clean of that Blackberry. Okay, we're going to add Crumb Cake to this. So I'm just pouncing some Crumb Cake. Now this one I'm being a little bit more generous with the ink than I did the first 2 times because I was going for a very subtle look the first 2 times. Okay, throw your paper on. And then we'll just kind of do that same hit or miss kind of thing. That'll get me some highs and lows rather than doing a full burnish here of the ink. And we'll just have... Look at how pretty that is. So we've got the check and we've got a little bit of that among the swallows. This is really a pretty, pretty background stamp, you guys. Okay, so, and I think it just lends to the botanical feel of this, of these die cuts that are in this kit here. Okay, turn this over. We're just going to center this. Okay. Okay. I guess I could have done 4 3/8 on my DSP and taken it all the way to this edge. That would probably be a cleaner look, but that's okay. That's okay. Now let's add our layers in here. So those are all peeled. So this is just going to come right in the center. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is so pretty in real life. These colors together really are kind of pretty. Okay, now I should probably let you know I have recently re-inked my bubble bath. So it's good and juicy. Okay, let's add some Seal Plus right down the center. Okay, I'm adding it, but it's not. So weird, it's not going. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this a little different. I'm gonna add Seal Plus to my leaves. It won't attach because of the inking and for some reason it just didn't want to add. Okay, so there's my layer of leaves. You guys, I'm gonna do what I did on that other card, and I'm gonna split this apart just a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna open it up just a little bit. Okay, we'll open that. Just to give us just a little bit more play with that, we can add dimensionals to our rows here. Okay, moving right along. Okay, and as I put that down, I'm gonna open this up just a little bit so I can see it just a little bit more. I can't see him at all. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to just come up here, trying to decide how I want to clip this one. I'm going to clip that there and that there. And I'm going to move this out just a little bit. There we go. So we'll see it. And I think that's the name of the game on some of this, is to kind of, you know, clip things apart and make them your own. Oh yes, that's nice. There's that. And then we'll add some foliage in here. And I'm going to add some more down in here. I'm going to use glue. I grabbed the Seal Plus to do it on here. That's not going to work so well. Okay. A little bit of that. And I'm going to tuck this under. I could even, ooh, I kind of like that too. And then my circle, my greeting, is going to come right in here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I can't see my vellum too much. Hold on. While we do just a little kind of sizing things up. There we go. And then that's going to set right in there. Now, here's what's crazy. So I've got dimensionals here. I am going to, and this is where you kind of have to go, okay, I'm putting a dimensional there so that when I add my greeting, it will level things out. Okay? Let me turn this a little bit. Okay, kind of off to the side. I'm going to turn this even more. Okay, just a little bit more, just kind of on the fly here. Okay, so here's some of that. I'm pulling from my sugar shaker. Ooh, I pulled quite a bit. I don't need quite so much. Oh, well, I told you I like it, but I don't like it that. Holy cow, that's a lot of twine here. But I'm going to do a little bit of twine so that I can kind of reach that right in there. And it just adds that little bit of sparkle and special detail. I think just really kind of pulls all of these elements together nicely. So we'll put that there. Let's stamp this one. I'm going to stamp this one with the Just a Note, and I'll stamp it with the Blackberry for sure. Okay. I really need a piece of colored paper under here, but I'm going to go for it. Hopefully I've got it centered well enough. Even pressure. Nice. Okay, now we can kind of add all of our pieces in here. Let me put a glue dot on the knot of my bow here. My son and Nicholas are upstairs talking. And, oh, I can hear them. Can you hear them? Okay, so that's there, and I've got my dimensional ready, and we'll tuck this one kind of right here to the side. Kind of fun. Pretty layers, pretty pretty. There's that, and now let's just add a little Stella sparkle here. And so pretty. I think I need to prime let me prime her. She just needs a little bit of love in here. Okay. And we can get a little bit more sparkle action going. All right. There is another one. Let's add some gems to this. This will be a pretty finish on this. And let's see here. I'm going to do one kind of right about there. That was a small. And I'm going to do it. Whoops, it stuck to me. Still stuck to me. I'm going to do it on this opposite corner over here. And one more like right about there. Okay. Maybe we'll do it on this other layer. I'm going to move it over to here. Cool. Super pretty, folks. I love this, this kind of crumb cake check here. It's really, really pretty. It's more of a gingham, not a check. All right. We are doing great here, folks. Time for another one. I'm just looking at my stash here. Oh, let's do this one. We're going to do this one. This one. Okay. So I have my card base here. We're going to do a Blackberry Bliss card here. So there's my card base. Let's give our base just a little bit of splatter here. And I'm going to use my two colors. And again, I'm kind of aiming for the side. You know, I don't want it to be too like, I don't need it in the center. I'm just kind of aiming for the edges. That was dark blackberry. Here goes light, pretty and pink. Done. With that, again, gives us just a little bit of extra oomph. Now I'm going to stamp my background. Let me change out my background paper here. It's a little distracting for me. Let me grab my Regal Flora stamp set here. And I'm going to grab, if you made the calendar, you happen to know that this is my favorite image from the set. But I'm going to use this image, and I'm going to use the little texture image from the set. So it's this piece here and this one here. Okay, so I'm using those two. I'm going to use Old Olive ink on my leaf here. So we're just going to ink that up in Old Olive. And I'm going to put the image on its back. And then I'm going to use a blending brush for Blackberry Bliss. So here's my Blackberry Bliss pad. Just going to ink that up a little bit. And now I'm going to pounce a little bit of that blackberry, and I'm gonna kind of concentrate in those berries, but I'm just kind of pouncing around, and I'm going to be adding some images here to my card base. Okay, I'm gonna add one kind of right here towards the top center, right about there. Look how pretty. I really enjoy blending inks like that. And I'm gonna stamp this 2 more times. Let me just get my cleanup pad here. Since we have all that blackberry on there, I don't want it to get all over my Old Olive pad. So here's Old Olive. This time I think I'm gonna try and concentrate a little bit more of that blackberry in the berries area on this image. And I'm gonna do 2 more. So I'm gonna do kind of one down here on the bottom corner, just like so. Oh, that's cool. Nice, nice, nice. One more time. So let me give this a quick clean. And, oops, shoot. I just inked the whole thing up in blackberry. Sorry about that. That is not what we want. I'm glad I realized now before I stamped it. We want Old Olive first. So Old Olive, then a little bit of blackberry here. And really pounce that into the berry area. And I'm going to do another one down here with this, but I'm going to change the angle on it so that it looks a little bit different. Pretty, 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 pretty. And now with Bubble Bath, so let me set those 2 aside. With Bubble Bath, I'm going to add some texture here to the card base. And I'm going to do a little bit right here. And now with this image, it's a delicate image, so I'm just touching. I am not making an impression. I'm just touching that image right to my card base so that the dots, so there, let me just kind of, there it is, kind of subtle. But let me show you if I like over impress how it gets a little bit, I mean, you can do that, look, if you'd like, but that's not what the image is showing me. So this is to me over impressed. So don't be too impressive. I'll be here all day. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to do one more of these. So I've got 3 images of each. And again, just touching so that I get a true image impression rather than being over. Okay, so that's my background for, oh good, it was a fleck, thought I caught an edge. I'm like, what? Okay, so there's my background. I'm going to be using, let's see here. I have another one of the labels, okay? I'm gonna go this direction this time. And, oh look, I did bring some twisted thread. And I have, this is a scrap. This is all that I have left of my Blackberry Bliss and gold textured ribbon. I have that left. I have one of the raspberries here, okay? And I have one of the circle labels. That's gonna come in. And I have some of these guys. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to embossing buddy this one again. Only this time, instead of pouncing it into the ink, we're going to Blackberry Bliss our swallows. Okay, and I think I'm going to try and catch this upper edge right in here. So I'm going to add some Blackberry Bliss here. And we'll take our label here, right there. Okay, kind of a hit and miss. There's that. So I have the light and the dark. I'm fine with that. I like that look. Now we'll peel this off. And let's see, we've got a lot of embossing buddy in here. We'll kind of start. Just get rid of the tackiness so that we can add some dimensionals to this to create some layers. Okay, it's still pretty sticky, but there we go. There's my layer. We'll move this out of the way. Same cleanup we did a minute ago, using the sleeve. I'm such a class act, you know. Okay, let's add some dimensionals here. Just like so. And that's going to come into here. Come up a little higher. And then we have some ribbon coming in here. We're going to just lay this across. And we have our leaves, our blackberries are going to come in here. I have a gap right in there. And then I have my vellum leaves as well. Haven't quite decided. I feel like I need more color here on this guy. This one actually is supposed to be a little bit more like that. I haven't decided. Oh, there we go. Again, these are in my mind. I'll come here. Just lots of prettiness in this card layer. And then our greeting, I was going to kind of tuck right up in here, something like so. And then of course, our gold twisted thread, kind of right in there. Cool. We'll do something along those lines, but I think I want a little bit more color in this layer. So I think I am going to pounce it like we did into the bubble bath. All right, here's bubble bath. So let's see, let's just go ahead and just give it a little bit of coverage here. Yeah. A little bit more on those edges. Okay, we'll let that dry. Yeah, that gives us just a little bit more contrast in there. Let that dry for a second. Okay, let's stamp our greeting here. I think with this one, I wanted to use the Get Well Soon. And so let me show you. I've never stamped this image before. And I have rubbed it with my fingers, the heel of my hand, just to kind of, and now I'm going to ink it up in Versamark. And you can stamp it a couple times in Versamark. And then even just kind of leave some there and not even clean it. And it's amazing how it just kind of, it primes your image. It just kind of makes it nice and you get a nice clean greeting with it. And we'll set this one right in the center. Nice. And you know what? It's not blotchy. It's just kind of nicely done. We'll let that one dry for just a second. And we'll put a dimensional on this. Okay, we've got dimensionals on this. Let's pull the backs on this. But before we do, we're going to lay a little bit of Seal Plus here and add our blackberry. So I'm just kind of doing a half, I've just folded it in half. Nothing too wild and crazy. And we'll just set this. Now this is intended to be a little higher than it is lower. I don't want it right smack dab in the middle. And let me kind of even up my ends here. Okay, looking good. A little different than some of the other alternatives that I've seen. I like it. I like it. Now, I have some plain leaves here, which I like. I also have another one of these that I did earlier, just practicing on that. So it's like Ooh, I kind of like that. And then this one, we'll swoop this one up and through, sideways. And then our get well soon. Oh, I touched it too soon. I smeared it. Shoot, Queen. Do I have another one? I do. Yahoo! Okay. I do have another one because I don't want a smeared one. Nice thing is they gave us quite a few labels in this particular kit, which was very generous of them. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to stamp it one more time. Yeah, Blackberry Bliss, especially when it's a new Blackberry Bliss pad, boy, I can get it all over the place. All right, so there's my get well soon. I'm not going to touch it for a minute or two here. Okay, so I'm trying to decide, do I want those pink leaves or do I want these? Do I want them to go this way? That's kind of fun. Don't touch the ink. Oh, I kind of like it that direction, but let me see real quick here. Do we want it to be our colored leaves? I think I like the colored leaves. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I really like that. So a little bit of Seal Plus there. And I'm gonna fold these out. You know what? I'm gonna actually cut these ends off. Okay, have this swooping down that direction. And then I do want the raspberries coming up diagonally across. So we'll add some dimensionals here. And no worries on this one showing because it's covering the entire card front. No extra fancy fold or anything. Hey, it didn't stick. You know why? Remember it wouldn't stick there earlier? So let's go this route. Okay. It goes this way. Okay. And this way. And I'm losing all my stamping right there. Oh well. There's enough splattering. Okay, you, I hope, are dry. And I'm going to add, since I've got levels there, I'm going to go ahead and add my dimensional. Instead of to my label here, or my circle, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the card so that I know I'm in just the right spot. Just like so. And then the gold twisted thread. Okay, that's going to kind of come in right in there. So it needs a little glue dot. But I'm going to hold off on that for right now, just for time's sake. And bring in this. Let's add these for sure. Got to make it ultra pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of, let's do one right about here, and let's do a couple over here. We'll do one kind of right there, kind of in the stamping, but not in the stamping too much. And same thing right here. But I think I'm going to move this one. Do you put them on and move them around? Maybe kind of up in here. Yeah. Pretty. And of course it needs a little Stella shimmer here. Switching to a new Stella. That one's kind of needs to be zhuzhed. Let's get those berries. And then these blossoms. And just an overall bit of sparkle. And you guys, holy cow. That is a pretty card. Pretty card. So I've added some stamping with the Regal Flora and then a little bit of ink on those leaves and some ribbon and twine. But a bulk of this, the decor here is from the kit. And adding that little bit of color, I'm glad we did that. And I think that looks really beautiful. Gosh, this card is so pretty in person. All right, I have one more planned. Do we have time for it or not? You guys tell me. Have a plan of attack with my last card base. I'll do it just to have it done, and that way I can say I used the entire kit. So there's my card base. I have a piece of Moody Mauve here, okay? So my Moody Mauve is 4 by 5 1/4. And I did this the wrong way. I shouldn't have scored. I shouldn't have folded on that. That was not the right thing to do. Don't fold yours. If you're gonna make this card, don't fold that in half just yet, okay? Instead, what I want you to do is get your trimmer in here, and we're going to we're gonna put our edge here to 2 1/8, or as close to it as we can. Okay, so 2 1/8. So we're going to score through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 7th scallop indentation, you're gonna score. So that's basically at 2 1/8. This is gonna be a gatefold is why I blew it. So we're gonna do that, and let's do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's right there at about 2 1/8. So you're gonna score right between those two scallops, top and bottom. And we're gonna fold inward. That's our plan of attack. This is a gate fold. And I wish I hadn't had scored there, because then that makes this just a little bit more susceptible to folding. But that's okay, because I have a piece of white that I'm going to set in there and hopefully keep it from bending. But we're gonna stamp it first. So let's go back to our Among the Swallows. We're gonna do kind of a different color this time for the Among the Swallows. I'm gonna use Early Espresso this time. Just a little different. I wanna pick up a little bit, of a different kind of tone. We've been using the Berry Bliss and Blackberry Bliss, and so just slightly different look. I'm going to use Early Espresso, and it looks like I've got a little extra hanging something on here from our calendar class. But let's go ahead and ink this up in Early Espresso. Okay, and this is my Moody Mauve. It is 4 by 5 1/4. And again, I'm just dabbling. I'm gonna get a fairly decent impression, but I don't wanna over impress. I don't wanna be too impressive. Okay, pretty. Again, I have a few light spots, but I'm good with that. It's interesting. So there's my background. Now what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right down the middle. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. So now I'm going to make it be 2 by 5 1/4. We're gonna have 2 pieces at 2 inches by 5 1/4. And we're gonna glue these to the front of our card. So we're gonna take the one edge and take it right to this edge here so that our scallops show through. And then this side, so we'll have a little bit of a gap right down the middle, but that's okay. Okay, where's my glue? Here's my glue, so let's put these on. So you can kind of see how this one aligns. Okay, there's that. And now this guy. Same deal. Okay, so there is my card base for the outside. Let's do one more layer here. I'm going to come back to this guy. I'm gonna give it a quick clean. I'm not gonna worry about if it's not like perfectly. I'm gonna try and get as much of that espresso off as I can. But I really need, instead of a chamois, I need the good old Stamp and Scrub to get into all those grooves, because this is real, this is red rubber. So it cleans up just a little bit different. Okay, but I'm trying to get most of it off because I'm gonna go back to my bubble bath. But instead of inking up the whole thing, I am just gonna kind of play around here. And I'm just going to ink up the edges. Okay, so I'm just inking up the edges. And I'm going to take my white layer that's for the inside. This is also 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to set that right down in the center. And I'm just going to kind of dabble my fingers on the edges here. I'm not looking for like tons of stamping and whatnot. So it's given me just kind of a soft, I especially like it here. Right here is a little bit, but that's okay. It kind of will match the front. And I'm gonna splatter a little bit here with some Blackberry. And with Wink of Stella. And this will set on the inside. And I'll also be able to put a label on the inside as well for a greeting. But for now, I want to add that to the inside and have our big stamping done. But I'm gonna also bring this in and try and splint where I folded on that score line. So if you haven't folded on the score line, you still need to do this layer on top. And it sure will help with it folding, especially if you haven't burnished the score line. Okay, so there's that. I should have used the white willow color cardstock because it's a better match for our paper pumpkin white, but this is basic white. But yeah, I should know better, and I've gotten ink where I don't want it. So I'm just trying to do a little tidy up. Okay, so there's the start to our inside. Now this is just gonna be a real quick belly band style card. So I have a piece of Moody Mauve. This one is 2 inches by 11, and I'm going to start here on this front side, kind of towards the middle. And I'm just creating a belly band, so I'm just gonna work myself around. Okay, and I'm gonna trim off what we don't need, right about the center here. And now we'll glue these together. So a little glue here, and a little glue here. And you're thinking, why is she putting the seam of her belly band in the front? The reason I'm putting the seam of my belly band in the front is because by the time we put our decor and things on here, it's not going to show, and then it's not going to show on the back either, okay? So that's just kind of my way of doing that. So there's that. I have one last piece of that Timeless Plaid DSP that I was going to set right there. There's that. Or I could do this other side. So I think this is my first intention, is to do this right here. And I'm gonna have some leaves here. We're gonna add in. I have a couple of these still. So they're going to add as well. So let's put this one on. And before I add the leaves, my plan is to add some, guess what? My favorite, the gold twisted thread. So I'm not even gonna cut it just yet, but I have it, it's in my little sugar shaker, and I'm gonna wrap it around a couple times, and then I'm gonna tie a bow. But you know me, I like a fairly big bow because I want it to show, right? So let me just kind of make sure my ends are somewhat even. I think I need to come over here a little bit, and then we'll just kind of wiggle that to center. Okay, I'm just gonna hold my finger and I'm just tying a second knot. That way I can kind of be free to do whatever. I'm not struggling to keep it tight, if you know what I mean. So now we just have a nice, okay, we can add some leaves in here, and maybe I'm going to tuck the leaves underneath. And then our rose is going to come on top. And I think my plan, what I'm going to do, is not worry so much about gluing these leaves down. Let me reverse this one, tuck it under as well. But I'll use the dimensionals from the rose to kind of hold these leaves in place. Okay, I'm going to pull this one out. It's a little too much, so I'm going to do some trimming of my leaves here. Just a quick trim. And then we'll trim this one as well. That way I can add a little bit more, but it's not too much. It was just too much the way adding two full ones in was just a little, which is nice because I can add that to something else. So we'll tuck this one down over this direction. Yeah, that's better. And then this kind of reaches in those negative spaces. And here we go. Let's put this on. Now, I do have to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I think here's what I'm going to do, folks. I am going to put my dimensionals on the belly band. But I have to make sure it doesn't show there as well. So I know I can put one right there. Just double check what you're doing because you don't want them to show, right? And of course, I want to do that right where the knot is. Okay, hold on. I got to make this bigger. Okay, yep, and wouldn't you believe it? The one that I put on trying to be good is gonna show. Okay, I can't win for losing. All right, get rid of that. We're gonna try and go right there, and hopefully it won't show. And then I'm gonna try one right there, and hopefully that one won't show. Hopefully we're in business. Okay. Here we go. Cross your fingers, folks. Because I like where it's positioned. I don't think that one's going to show. I think we're good. All right, we made it. So just a pretty little belly band style card. Let me finish with a greeting here. So let's see, I have multiples. I have 3 of these left. I have one of these, and I have one circle. It's just a matter of what do we want to add to this. I think what I might do, let's see if I can. I was just wondering, so my one thought was to have another greeting just under the belly band here. Maybe even not a greeting on the front, not until you pull the band. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to do a greeting right here. We're going to make this be a happy birthday card. So let's use the Early Espresso because that's the other color we've used. And we're going to take that right in the center here. Okay. And we're going to glue this just on the one side. Just in the center. We're going to do it dead center, which is unlike me, but we're going to do it anyways because then it will hide inside of that belly band. But I'm just going to kind of hold that there for a second. Happy birthday. And you know what? I don't have a greeting that really goes on the inside, but, you know, another birthday greeting would be nice, you know, like right down in here or up here or wherever you want to put it. But have some fun with that. But there's that. Let's add our belly band back on and add some gems. And maybe we can put our belly band back on. It's a little tricky getting it over the scallops. There we go. So now the greeting's hidden underneath. I kind of like that. It's pretty, super pretty. Let's add some gems. Okay, let's do a couple here on this side. And then we'll do another one up over in here. Pretty. Well, nope. We'll do it here. And there you have it. So there's our belly band. Pretty, pretty. And I've made a mess, but that's okay. So there's our belly band card. Gatefold belly band. We're just going to work backwards here. So pretty. This card right here, you guys, in person, super pretty. And we have another rose card that we've done. And a fold back latch card, which, you know, now that we have the gold thread out, we can put that gold bow on there. And that's going to make it super pretty. I mean, just come on, look at that. That's going to look great. That finishing touch. You guys, you need gold thread. Here's our more masculine look with a matching envelope on that one. And we also have another one kind of, you know, similar, another kind of masculine Z-fold card. And then we've also done our cute little Valentine boxes here. So, all right, that is our Notes from the Heart Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin class. Don't forget, next week we have Use It Up. We're going to use up our Snowy Scenes DSP. And next week, you'll be able to see all of the ads that are coming up for the stamp camp that's coming in February and for Technique Time for this month. We're going to be using the heart-shaped bundle. You can use the heart-shaped bundle, but I'm going to give you enough stuff in your kit that if you don't have the heart-shaped bundle, but you have a different heart Valentine style bundle, that will work brilliantly. So I will catch you guys next Thursday in the Backstage Pass. If you're not a member of the Backstage Pass and you want to be, leave me a message and I can tell you how you can join in the fun. All right, folks, thank you for joining me and I will catch you all next week. Bye-bye.